Does God exist, or is he just an imaginary sky fairy that religious people like to believe in?
Hey, that's not fair. God's not a sky fairy. Sky fairies are way better than that guy. They don't owe me money, unlike Mr. Ugg. I tell you what, that's the last time I lend anyone 50,000 quid, because they really need it and are totally good for it, mate. Only to then spend it all on a makeover that didn't even look the way they wanted to, and somehow that's my fault. He won't even pay it back now, because he looks like a gigantic bowl of ramen had sex with Thanos.
Because it helps them cope in life. God definitely exists.
Because if he doesn't, I will not be able to cope in life. But, well, damn, that is some definitive shit going on up in here. I hope you have something to back it up that isn't so obviously wrong or stupid that some dumbass comes along and makes you look sillier than them. That would be f***ing tragic / hilarious. AKA tragilarious.
And I don't want you to just take my word for it. Instead, in this video, I'm going to present to you...
Is it still gonna be your word for it, but all gussied up in a nice dress and a bit of slap, pretending to be facts about reality, or at least facts that you think prove God when they categorically don't? But hey, it's alright, you can trust me and take my word for it. That's what they do. Honest.
10 undeniable facts that prove God is real.
Wow, 10 of them, eh? Well, I am actually impressed. I mean, after all this time, no one has been able to provide even one thing that proves God is real, even remotely. And then out of nowhere comes this guy and drops 10 nuclear facts all on our heads, without so much as a how'd you do or a by your leave. I am sure that this is going to be impressive. Dumb coughing noise.
But before I do that, make sure and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss any of my future uploads.
Yeah, what he said, but you know, for me, because I'll be damned if I put any real effort into being a YouTuber other than my outro. I have important drinking to do. I ain't got time for all this professionalism and actively trying to succeed. What am I, a grown up? F that shit. Let's
get right into it. Fact number 1. Bible prophecy proves the existence of God.
Oh man, that was funny. Oh shit, you're serious. Let me laugh even harder. No, it doesn't. You tell us these are facts, and then you open with Bible prophecy. Bible prophecy is one of the least factual things I can think of. First off, most of the "it came true" prophecies come true in the Bible, so they don't count. Secondly, they are often so vague they could mean literally anything. Or it's just a bunch of predictions that anybody with eyes and a working memory could make, whilst also being vague. Because you couldn't actually say what's going to happen. That would be too useful.
If there is a God, and he is omniscient as the Bible claims he is,
then he should be able to specifically describe events outside of the Bible and pinpoint the when and wheres to the millimeter and the millisecond. But for some reason, Betty doesn't do that, instead talking in vagaries, usually about change, as if change doesn't happen, and did not happen all the time, even back then. Tell you what, I predict that in the next 10 years, things are going to be a bit different. If I'm right, you all need to come back and worship me as the literal God that I am.
Then he would know the future. The Lord even said in Isaiah chapter 42 verse 9, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare."
So, are you not even going to give an example of predictions? Just a passage in the Bible about the Bible saying that the Bible is correct? That's probably a good call, really, because the second you bring any of them up, everyone and their pet dog's raccoon Scruffles is going to go look into it and find out that it's bullshit.
Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Since God said he can predict the future, then we can expect to find prophecies about the future in the Bible.
Ah, no, he's gonna f*** it up already, hasn't he? Damn it, you were on such a good roll there. But no, now you're gonna actually try and do an example. And instantly prove that it is complete and total bullshit. By the nonsense of, well, the Bible being nonsense. Damn it, I was rooting for you, man.
And indeed we do. For example, in the book of Daniel chapter 2, we are given an outline of the rise and fall of world-ruling empires even to modern times.
Right, this ought to be good. Let's play a game of what is it going to be? I mean, we know it's going to be vague, but let's just try and give it a guess. Right, so it's going to be, say, that nations or states or whatever rise and fall over time, and they are different to each other in some ill-defined manner. Sorry, am I going too fast? Is the sheer detail and specificity too much for you to handle? Well, don't worry. I'm pretty sure that the real prophecy is going to be worse than that. Just a hunch.
Traditional scholarship maintains that the book of Daniel was written in the 6th century BC.
What the f*** is traditional scholarship? I mean, I have no idea if, modern historians agree, because I'll be damned if I'm going to actually check. Wouldn't want to put any actual effort in, people might start to think I care. But if you mean the most accurate, up-to-date view on it, it's weird that you called it traditional scholarship. Almost like that's not what you mean.
Yet it predicts events far ahead of that time. In Daniel chapter 2.
Doubt? But we shall see, shan't we? Also, just a note, doesn't the Bible say something about that you shouldn't trust soothsayers and their ilk? That only God can make predictions about the future and such? No, wait, that can't be right. The Bible would never contradict itself constantly.
King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of a statue made of 4 metals.
4 metals? Wow. So what, like, bit of mellow death, maybe some metalcore, perhaps a bit of Finnish folk metal, or even just good old-fashioned hair metal. Everybody likes that. As long as it's not an actual literal block of metal, because that's just the worst type. Barely makes any musical sounds at all. Well, apart from clonk. And to be fair, that does have a great beat.
It had a head of gold, chest and arms of silver, a belly and thighs of bronze, legs of iron, and feet part of iron and part of clay.
Well, then that's not 4 metals, is it? That's 4 metals and clay. Your whole thing is just spiralling out of control now, isn't it? Unbelievable that you would lie to us about something so obviously important and... I'm kidding, it doesn't matter. None of it does. It never does.
When the prophet Daniel gave the interpretation of the king's dream...
Whoa, wait, what? The prophecy isn't even the guy's dream, it's some guy's interpretation of what the guy said he dreamed. That's a bit sketchy, to say the least. I thought prophets, prophesized, not the obviously very, very, very old-fashioned tell me about your dreams shtick. Damn.
He said in verses 37 through 39, "You, O king, are a king of kings. For the God of heaven has given you a kingdom, power, strength, and glory. And wherever the children of men dwell, or the beasts of the field, and the birds of heaven, he has given them into your hand, and has made you ruler over them all. You are this head of gold."
Alright, where do we even start? So part of the prophecy was to tell him stuff he already knew? Well, brilliant. And of course he said he was the big gold head. He was never going to tell him he was the feet, was he? Although I would have done that. You are the feet because you really, really like that kind of porn, oh great king. Don't lie, we have all seen your constant etchings. There's no shame in it, apart from all the stains. Clean up after yourself, for God's sake.
In other words, the head of gold represented the Babylonian Empire, since Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon.
How insightful! And obviously how could they have known that when they were there? That's not how things work. Absolutely astounding and totally worth bringing up. Certainly don't feel like I'm having all of my very important time wasted on nothing. No.
But after you shall arise another kingdom, inferior to yours, then another, a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over all the earth.
What did I f***ing tell you? Your empire won't last, because they never do, and others will come after it, because that's what always happens. And I'm not even going to go into they won't be as good. By who and what metric exactly? Did any of them consist entirely on the production and shipping of whiskey to me? Well, then they all sucked donkey balls, didn't they?
So we see this is predicting successive world-ruling empires.
Oh, I take it all back completely unsarcastically. No one could ever have done that in the history of ever. Not any random noble, not anyone with a basic grounding in local history, not that random kid that the others use as the goal in their street game of sports ball. No, only someone magically inspired by divinity itself could have possibly known that empires rise and fall. Oh, what a magic man we have in our midst. Quick, everyone give him all your money and a swift tug so deserving of all the things he clearly is.
Babylon ruled from 605 to 539 BC.
Okay, I have no reason to doubt that's accurate. Well, I mean, I have lots of reasons, most of them contained within this very video, but I cannot be asked to doubt that, because it's not really relevant in any way except one, and it's a bit of a doozy. Why? Why didn't your superpowered future man state those numbers? Why didn't he state any numbers? I mean, he didn't even vaguely allude to when it would end. He just said that it would, which of course it would. That's how the reality works. It's almost like he didn't actually prophesy shit.
And the empire that came into power after Babylon was Medo-Persia, represented by the chest and arms of silver.
Ah, of course, chests and arms, because unlike all other empires, the people of that empire had arms and chests. Therefore, it's an accurate representation of who they are, and couldn't possibly be literally anyone on the planet ever. Man, this prophecy grift is easy. I really should get in on it. I predict you are going to buy my merch. Or not. Dun dun dun. How did he know?
And just as silver is inferior to gold, Medo-Persia wasn't as glorious as Babylon, and it was a dual kingdom, a coalition of the Medes and Persians, like the two arms in the statue.
He didn't say that? Based on the information that you gave me, that's your, after the fact, oh look, we can fit this square peg in here if we hammer it in hard enough, justification of a supposed prophecy boy. That's not how it works, mate. Maybe if he had said it'll be a coalition 'cause arms, that might have been a good guess, and one would think you would have said it, but it's still a guess nonetheless. But you didn't, 'cause I assume he didn't, 'cause he was a fraud, or more likely just a fake person who didn't do a real, at least as presented here.
Not to mention taxes were paid in silver in Medo-Persia.
Are you taking the piss, mate? No, that can't be right. No one would ever use silver as a form of currency. Why would they do that? It's not highly prized for its shiny and stability. No, that doesn't make any sense, and I think you are lying, and they actually used week old burger buns from McDizzle's as their main way of paying taxes. Because we all know those things last literally forever.
Medo-Persia ruled to 331 BC and was succeeded by the Empire of Greece, represented by the belly and thighs of bronze. Did you know that Greek soldiers wore bronze armor when they went out to battle?
Oh my god, would you stop? How is that convincing to you? Lots of people use lots of things in various ways. Bronze was just one of those things that people used to make things all the time. It could have been literally anything, and to act like them having it in their armor is anything other than an extremely tenuous coincidence is frickin' idiotic.
Greece ruled until 168 BC and was conquered by the Roman Empire. Talking about the Roman Empire, verse 40 says,
God damn it, the Fourth Empire is the Roman. I think I might have spotted a slight flaw in your whole entire thesis here, matey boy. I mean, sure, let's see if the old prediction maybe plugs that gap, but somehow I really don't see that happening.
And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything, and like iron that crushes, that kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others.
Alright, well that's f***ing meaningless, but more importantly, couldn't possibly be talking about the Roman Empire. If your first part of the prediction is to be believed, because you said yourself the Third Empire was to rule over all the earth, and neither the Greeks nor the Romans got anywhere near an empire that could be described as all the earth. I was trying to give you a chance with either of these, but no, both the Romans and the Greeks barely got further than the Mediterranean. If you think that's even close to the whole earth, I think you might need to buy yourself an atlas and eat it. Because that's how information is obtained, right?
Iron is the strongest of the four metals in the statue Nebuchadnezzar dreamed about, and that illustrates the fact that Rome ruled longer than its predecessors.
Does it? Hardness does not dictate longevity. Basic chemistry will tell you that reactivity tends to be a larger factor in a metal's continued usefulness. Gold, if I'm remembering rightly, has the lowest out of the lot and will last a really long time without rusting into dust. And frankly, that seems a far more logical interpretation of an idea like that. So look at you and yours being wrong again.
Its rule lasted to 476 AD. And what happened in 476 AD?
Oh, it was a total shit show, mate. And honestly, partially my fault. You see, me and the boys, the night before, we were just completely rat-arsed, and we kind of, broke the Roman Empire. Just a bit. But we stuck it back together with crazy glue and pipe cleaners. You really wouldn't have known. But then someone had to go and knock it over before the glue set. How could we have seen that coming, eh? Not my fault, just because it was me.
Is the Roman Empire was conquered by invading barbarian tribes who ended up dividing it into 10 territories.
Finally, a very specific round number we can work with. Let me guess, the statue had 10 fingers if you include the thumbs like a savage, therefore 10 territories or something. I mean, you can make anything match up if you try hard enough. It's called pareidolia, and it in no way is evidence for God.
This division is spoken about in verse 41, which says, "Whereas you saw the feet and toes, partly of potter's clay, and partly of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, yet the strength of the iron shall be in it, just as you saw the iron mixed with ceramic clay." How much more precise can prophecy get?
Way more precise! Infinitely more precise! That was a whole hot load of nothing! There were no times, dates, names, or even just descriptions of events. Only stuff that always happens will happen because stuff happens. This is the most asinine shit you could present as facts about to prove the gods. Ugh!
Rome was divided, not conquered, by another kingdom, just as the Bible said it would be. The toes of iron, or 10 divisions of the Roman Empire, ended up developing into the modern nations of Europe.
No, I'm done. That's so dumb. You're so dumb. The whole of Europe wasn't even conquered by the Romans, so how could it split like that? You know about as much of the recorded past of Europe as that prophet knows about its future. That is to say, literally nothing. Shit in a bag and punch it. Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was gonna tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the